What it, ain't? It's your boy Young Button, but you could call me Young Button if you're watching this. I just recently celebrated my 24th birthday. Hold the applause, spam happy birthday in the chat. But I was inspired to make a video like this from a guy named Struthless on YouTube that he actually learned from another video.
On his 68th birthday, he wanted to put down 68 ways to be better alive.
So this is a video inspired by a video, inspired by a video. And so here, without further ado, is 24 ways to live better.
Don't trust all-purpose glue.
Plan, plan, plan. By experience, I can say that it's very hard to have an outlook and then reach it. I'd always go to school and they'll be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'll write that little essay. And then 5 years later, I'm like, I didn't hit one of these checkpoints. The reason why is because I didn't plan. A dream without a plan is a wish. Somebody said that. So what I found is that planning helps me prevent stagnation and actually move forward. Once you plan ahead, you know what you need to do. And so even if you don't check off everything, you'll be a lot better off than if you checked off nothing. Go to Toiletry. The little life improvement things that you want are there. For example, a small toolkit or even a toolbox, trash bins, or you have toiletries, like on the go toiletries. I have a toiletry bag that I keep that I go everywhere with me because you don't know what's going to be there when you're out. But if you have your toiletry bag with you, then you can freshen up. And that leads me to number 3.
Keep your toothbrush at work.
Every once in a while, you know, you'll go and you'll have some Chipotle and the guacamole is extra guacamoleing and you have this onion tangy cilantro breath right afterwards. And you don't want to be smacking coworkers and customers alike with that breath. So when you have your toiletry bag, it's very beneficial. Now we go to number 4. Don't put yourself in a position to be tempted. A great wise man once said, because he likes alcohol so much, when he needs to stop drinking alcohol, all he has to do is not have it in the house. So you don't want to drink, don't put drinks in the fridge. You want to eat healthy, don't put snacks in your bins. And so whenever you're hungry, you could, I'll just reach for Doritos. Before you know it, you ate 2 chips, 3 cookies, 4 Starbursts.
2 number 9, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip,
and a cup of ice cream.
Damn.
You don't have to do that. And this applies to everything in life. So don't put yourself in positions to be tempted by just not having temptations around as much as you can, at the very least. Number 5, watch one piece. Diversify your friend groups. It's a lot like diversifying your portfolio. When you have all your eggs in one basket, you kind of live or die by that basket. But once you diversify it, then there's a whole lot of stuff you could do or a whole lot of places in your blind sides that you can see that you otherwise wouldn't have seen. For example, I have a ministry at my church where I coach these boys for basketball. Their youthfulness drives me to be youthful. They have energy. They bring hope. They see what's possible. They don't have that pessimism that as adults we tend to carry around all the time. And you know, it's refreshing because a lot of times you will miss opportunities to unwind, have fun, or enjoy the moment walking around with obligation tinted shades. Similarly, if you have some older people, that is a net positive to you also because they have a whole lot of experience, a whole lot of wisdom, and they've seen things that you haven't, and they've been through things that you haven't. And so they could tell you how to go about things so that you don't have to make the same mistakes they did, or so that you could know what it really looks like on the other side of things like marriage or a mortgage or aging. And the same goes for every other thing. So old, young, fun-loving, or intellectual, male or female, you can learn something from everyone. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So just keep that in mind. 6, watch One Piece. I don't think I have to say this. You already know how I feel about this. Every video probably I've already told you to go watch One Piece. So just do it. Like, what do you lose from watching One Piece? Nothing. What do you gain? A whole lot. 7, prep your meat in individual frozen bags. As soon as you come home, instead of just slapping the whole plastic wrap of meat in the freezer.
Pause, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy, but I'll let you go, pause.
Take the time to cut it open and get each one in individual packets. A little time consuming, especially when you get home from Walmart, which is the second wildest place in the world after Australia. But if you just take that extra time, cooking becomes a lot easier because now you don't have to spend 2.5 days unfreezing meat that could feed a village in order to have one serving for yourself on a random Tuesday afternoon. You don't have to do that anymore.
Why?
Because you have them individually frozen. Don't be a Knicks fan. Make a club with your friends. Me and my friends, we have a book club.
Gay.
It's a little silly, or at least the idea was at first, but actually it's been a net positive in my life. One of the benefits it has is that it helps us have a regular time to meet. And so instead of seeing each other 3 times in a week and then not seeing each other for 2 weeks, we know every week at this time, at the very least, we have to meet to talk about a book. And we've been studying this book, Think and Grow Rich, and it's actually helped me, yes, with my reading, but also with thinking critically and, you know, trying to find how to get rich, trying to find a come up.
My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
But also we get to do other stuff. Like the other day we cooked together, and by we cooked, I mean they cooked and I sat there and I enjoyed the food once it was ready. And also we get to go to the gym. If I haven't worked out that week, when I go there and we study the book and they're like, yo, we out to the gym, at the very least I know that day I'll work out. And you know what? That's worth something. 10, when you're going out, leave your phone in the car. One of these issues I had with socializing or being a people's person is, for whatever reason, I just had a hard time. Like I could speak to people, I'm sociable, but being outgoing, socializing would be kind of tough for me, and I would always wonder why. But then I would do stuff like go to a party and walk in listening to my own music, and then halfway through I'm like, why am I not feeling like being at this party right now, bro? Literally because you're listening to depression music of volume 7, you know, like this is your fault. You're doing this to yourself. And so what I started doing is leaving my phone in my car when I walk into a party. And what it's made me do is force me to have to interact with the people around me. I can't check the weather for like 30 minutes at a time. So I might as well talk to the person next to me. And it's actually helped me grow my social skills and learn to read social cues better, amongst other things. I'm sure that could definitely help you if you struggle with socializing or just generally being in the moment. Once you don't have your phone to fall back on, and what you have to rely on is actual communication, both verbal and nonverbal, with human beings, I don't know, you just kind of tend to get better at that stuff. So 11, clean your room. Cluttered room, cluttered mind. I think it was Jordan Peterson that said it. If your room is messy, then that often means your mind is messy, and it could cause you to procrastinate on things that are relatively easy because all you look at is obligations. So you walk around with obligation tinted shades, it's going to be hard to want to do anything because you don't think, hey, let me go to my computer and maybe make a video because, you know, it should drop on my birthday. And you end up dropping it after your birthday. Of course, just speaking about a friend, you know, this could be anyone, but it's just a whole lot. And then in the end, because you start thinking about all the things you have to do, consequently, you do nothing. But you feel better when everything else around you is just clean.
Things you repeat every day, the mundane things. Think I could get all those mundane things right. That's the game rules. It's like now all the mundane is in place. Now you can play. Play is very fragile neurologically. Any competing motivation or emotion will suppress play. So everything has to be in order. Try putting your room in order. Perfect order. And then the order is the precondition for the freedom. And so then all of a sudden you get all these things in order. It's like, oh, look at this. I've got some room to play here. And then maybe you're not depressed.
Maximize your athletic potential. I always preach this to my friends because who knows? Maybe you have an incredible talent or skill at something. If you do, then maybe you find out later that you can be a semi-pro or a professional in whatever league of whatever sport of your choosing. Or at least you have the physical talents for it, right? You have the body type for it. Maybe you have the body type for an MMA person. Maybe you have the body type and explosiveness hidden in you to have a 47-inch vertical. And all of a sudden, maybe you're not NBA league bound, but you're some league bound, because you actually maximize your athletic potential. And that's at best, but you know, at worst, how does this hurt you? At the very worst, you're just a very fit person. Similarly, you should explore different hobbies. Again, you could find many hidden talents that you have that you didn't know you have. Or you could just find niches that you really find interesting that you otherwise wouldn't have found unless you actually explored whatever it is that you have. For example, I found out I could rap. Like, did you know I could rap? Music coming out soon, by the way. But me personally, it kind of shocked me. Okay, because you know what the whole thing is, every black guy has 2 dreams: is rap or go to the league. And I already had go to the league, and when that doesn't work out, usually niggas start rapping. I don't want to be classified as some SoundCloud rapper, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a bad connotation that came with that. I never saw myself doing it. I would have never discovered it if I didn't try. And now that I tried, I'm like, oh, actually I kind of have a knack for this. But it could be literally anything. What's more, you could develop a monetizable skill doing it. So if you don't know what you don't know, then you won't know what you don't know. Come on now, can I get an amen, somebody? That also segues into my next point. Find your gifts. Now, it might sound like the last 2 points, but actually it's quite different. I'm a firm believer that everyone has a gift. Some have more than one, but everyone has a gift. So then what's yours? While maximizing your athletic potential and exploring different hobbies can help you find your gift, it's not always that straightforward. Finding your gift is just seeing the thing that you have that you're really good at, maybe even to a fault. For example, me, I used to talk a lot in school, and so I always got in trouble. And I'd be like, if everyone's talking and everyone's making noise, how the hell they hear my voice and single me out?
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
To me, it was unfair. But what I didn't know is, as much as it got me in trouble, it actually could do a lot for me, where now I'm actually trying to use that to my advantage in order to build a life for myself. Similarly, you have a gift, and if God gives you a gift, it's because he wants you to use it. And so what is your gift and what could you do with it? And if you don't know these 2 questions, then I strongly suggest that you find out. Number 15, and I cannot stress this enough, don't eat pancakes when you could just have waffles. 16. Expand your musical taste. When I was young, my dad had this old MP3 player with the little scrolly thing in the middle, and he had a lot of music on this thing. And I honestly don't know how he got that or why he had so many American songs on there, because I'm Haitian, I grew up in Haiti. But I mean, it was incredible. And some of my favorite music from back on that MP3 player was not even like rap or R&B, which is a typical black people thing to like. And so because I started out with this varied music taste from my youth, when I grew older, I learned to be palatable in a lot of different areas. This is why I can enjoy music from Back in Black, from I think AC/DC, to Don't Ya by The Internet, all the way to POA by Future, and A Lizard State by King Cruel. And so all of those pieces of work are different in their own way, but they're all great music. And even though they sound very differently, if you learn to have a varied taste palette in music, it greatly benefits your options and gives you more variety. If you hear a girl yelling in the woods, it's probably a mountain lion trying to eat you. I mean, you got to treat it like a case-by-case basis, right? But evidently, they can do that. Yeah, so do with that as you will. 18, and this one is particularly for the guys. Learn how to deal with women. This will improve your life in so many ways. I mean, that's like 50% of the world's population. I'm not good at math, so that number could be wrong. But it's literally the opposite of you that's running around everywhere else where the people that look like you aren't. You probably might want to learn how to deal with them. And here are a few key points, just about 3, that I've learned in my time in dealing with women. A, your time and attention is their currency. Literally just like money. The less you have, the more you're willing to work to have more. And in the same vein, the less you are likely to waste it, and vice versa. B, she is the country. You are the country's leaders. You wouldn't want a Secretary of Defense that's a pushover and that can just get abused by any nation. You wouldn't feel protected by that. And you would want another person in office. Similarly, you are that defense secretary. So you must be a stern, shrewd, and defensive defense secretary. Not in a getting defensive kind of way, but in showing your ability to protect. Conversely, you wouldn't want to be in a country that has a self-serving king. So if the king only sees his best interests at whatever cost it is to the people, you wouldn't want to be in such a country. On the other hand, if you're in a country where you know the king serves the people at his own expense, not a king that doesn't respect himself, but a king that knows that his primary duty is to serve the people that he has kingship over, you would want to live in such a country. And C, like who like you? A wise man once said, I like girls who like me.
That's your preference? No. My preference is women who like me back.
And you know what? Shout out to that guy. I hope he's doing great, okay? Because if you have to go get a girl who you have to prove that you're good enough to have in the beginning, you're going to have to keep proving that you're good enough to stay. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want a relationship where I constantly have to jump through hoops to prove that I'm worthy to have someone. You should try to find someone who already favors you. Now, I don't want to say she got to be easy, because I know, guys like to chase. You don't want to just get it. Like Pac said, I don't want it if it's that easy now. But you don't want someone who's going to make your life hell, and that's going to constantly make you have to prove that you belong there. So, like who like you. Next up, groom yourself. A wise man once said, you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't have said it better myself. Having an air of confidence when you walk around is one of the greatest things that you can wear. But it's hard to be confident if you don't look right. And so you have to put yourself in a position where you know you look good. And the number one way to do that is just by grooming yourself. You don't have to look the flyest with $800,000 shoes on and big Gucci shirt and big Prada pants and a double F on your belt, you know what I'm saying? But you wear clothes that fit nice, you stay looking sharp, you know what I'm saying? Hair by Ginoa's Kitchen, shout out to her. And chances are you're going to feel more confident in who you are. And being confident is going to help you, not just with women, but in everything you do. Job interviews, speaking in the public, being able to command respect, because you just have that confidence around you and you literally play better. The best players in the world will tell you in sports, one of the greatest abilities to have is confidence. So better confidence, better results.
Papa John's, nigga.
Spend 1 hour in the sun daily. That's a great source of vitamin D. It helps you greatly with your physical and mental health. It was created for a purpose. And so being inside your room 24/7 is a terrible idea. Make sure you get 1 hour of sunlight a day. But if not 1 hour, then make sure you get some sunlight a day. Because per usual, if it's something that's good for you, some is always better than none.
21.
Drive or take a shower with no music on every once in a while. No podcast, no playlist. Just listen to nothing but quiet. Or maybe the sounds of the road or the sounds of the splashing of your shower head on your floor. Because first of all, you don't want to hear that terrible little iPhone notification that's telling you your music is too loud or has been on too long. Personally, I hate that thing. Like, if I didn't find it too loud already, now it is, because that crap just hurt my ears. Whoever invented that, I will find you and I will cut your left pinky toe.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
But it has a lot more benefits than just not absolutely rupturing your eardrums. For example, quiet time in the shower or driving is where you get a lot of great ideas. Personally, I've gotten some of my finest ideas or breakthroughs in a moment of peace. It's because you have actually that moment to reflect and think. And that's another point. The decreased stimuli promote independent thinking. If you always have something speaking at you, you won't ever hear the voice in your head that's speaking to you. So it helps you be able to gather information and finally lay it out and think. And it gives you also time to reflect on your current situation, your current state of being. Maybe you haven't been okay for like 3 weeks, but because you've been listening to music, you haven't even had time to realize, why are you not okay? And so you just kind of need time to process sometimes. Have standards, whether it be work, relationships, friendships. You gain respect by having standards, not just for other people, but also for yourself. You don't know how many times I've heard coochie is coochie or something along those lines. And I just look at those dudes like,
What?
you're an insane person, my guy.
Stop it. Get some help.
You need to have standards for yourself and for the people that surround you. For one, it shows that you have integrity, because everyone's not the same. And so you will align with people that align with your values. But if you just perfectly get along with every single person you come around, it shows that you don't really stand for nothing. I know you remember that one kid in school that was everyone's friend. It's like, there's no way you're everyone's friend, because there's definitely someone here that thinks the complete opposite of someone else. And it's fine. Not everyone is going to be compatible in a friendship or in a relationship. Order unlimited free prints from Shutterfly. I know this sounds like an ad, and it could be. I mean, hey, Shutterfly sponsor me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
But really, it's just a really good tool. I have a couple of albums that I have with pictures that I ordered off of Shutterfly, and I think it's really cool. You do have to pay shipping, I'll say that much, but having physical pictures are great for pinning them on your wall, and they're like a doorway to a memory. And you know, having them on your phone is cool, but sometimes a little messy searching for some of them. But if you have your favorite physically, I always think that's great. And lastly, and I cannot stress this enough, read your Bible daily. It's a great guide on how to live. It truly is. Whatever problems you may have on this earth, whether it's friends, relationships, money, simple, basic life behaviors, the Bible teaches you about it. And that's the best insight that you can have. For example, you work hard everywhere and it's going to pay off for you. That's a biblical concept. Work in everything as if you were doing the Lord's work, you know, or to not be lazy. That's a biblical concept. The whole idea of if you sow sparingly, you will reap sparingly, but if you sow bountifully, you will reap bountifully. That's a biblical concept. It just teaches you how to live better. It keeps you near God. So the nearer you are to God, the further away you are from sin. And it helps you hear his voice so that when you do need guidance in your life, you get guidance. Even for those of us who may not have a father figure in their lives or teachers or mentors to be able to tell them where to go, God is the ultimate father. He's the ultimate mentor. He's the ultimate teacher. And so once you stay near him, he'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And so you'll never get caught by surprise by life. It's a way to foolproof your day. I've had days where I read my Bible and whatever happens throughout the day, and I'm talking about a lot of just tomfoolery, really a great deal of nonsense can happen that day, and I am not fazed by any of it. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But there's been days where maybe I don't start off reading my Bible and a lot less happens, but then I'm on edge. I'm like, I'm ready to snap. I'm just ready to go off, bro. And I'm like, bro, why do I feel like this? And I'm like, well, did I read my Bible and pray today? And it's like, oh, actually, no, I didn't. And so if you want to foolproof your day, there's no better way than reading the Bible. And lastly, it's a great practice for being a spiritual leader in your household. And I'm talking definitely for men who are saved Christian men of God. But if you're not saved, get saved. For two, kids are sponges. And so what they see you do, they'll do. And your wife is a direct reflection of you. And how you act and what you do will often become how she acts and what she does. If you don't read your Bible, you can't be like, hey, read your Bible. They're going to be like, you don't do it. Like, what are you saying? You telling me to do something that you don't do. Like, same thing when she picks up your lingo. You think she picks up your lingo because you tell her, hey, I say this, make sure you say this too. You just say it and she's like, yeah, I kind of like how we do that. Before she knows it, she just catches herself doing it. And so, yeah, the same way you're going to be a leader in all other aspects, you also need to be able to be a spiritual leader in your household. So, bang! There you go. 24 Ways to Live Better by yours truly, Mr. Young Bunnan. I guess this was another episode of Spitballing because I didn't have a real script for this one. I mean, it might come out a little janky. We'll definitely see in post if it's as janky as it seems in pre. But I do appreciate you if you stuck around to here. Please like, comment, subscribe, of course, if you ain't subscribed. You watching this video has been an incredible birthday gift to me. Tell me which one of these tips was your favorite. In any case, it's been your boy Young Bunnan celebrating his 24th, and I'll holla at you.